I'm Richard Watson. I play tuba in the Honolulu Symphony.
Lucky.
And you might think so. As we all know, the music business has become so very, very competitive, and there's great pressure to produce correctly and not make mistakes. How do you develop the necessary security and reliability in your playing without short-circuiting it with the over-analysis that must come about because you're under such pressure?
There are several methods, because if you understand the principle that of what stimulus would be to a reflex response, in other words, the control and accuracy in an embouchure means that there must be a proper signal in the brain. If you're a worried person, the power in your mind, when you are worried, this is a survival phenomena in nature. In other words, a worried human mind becomes wide open for the incoming stimuli to find out what's the danger, what's happening, how can you survive on this planet. So the survival aspect is extremely strong in all of us. And the discipline necessary to overcome this is very important. Now, there are several tools. You can use words, solfege syllables, where you bring in Broca's area of the brain, the part that has to do with speech. And by bringing in words, you have brought in, you might say, accessory aspects within your own brain to focus concentration on stimuli in order to have reflex response. The danger is with the words, you've got a big question, not a statement. Now, the motor nerve that is supposed to signal and have a flow, an electron flow from the brain to tissue, the effectors, at that moment doesn't have it. You may have the lip in perfect shape, but if there's no message going to it, God knows what's going to come out. That's where the inaccuracy comes. You find out, what were you thinking when you missed a note? You'll find there was a blank. Now, if there could have been the accurate musical symbol in there at that moment as stimuli, you would not have missed that note. Now, there can be other factors, a valve sticking or water key that suddenly leaks and changes the acoustical aspects of the horn. And none of us are perfect, you know. So the point is, as I was saying later, even Bud Herseth, who was probably the most accurate and the best brass player I've ever heard in my life, Bud usually misses a note anywhere from 3 to 4 years. We figure that's his rate. One note in 3 or 4 years might not be perfect. Well, he's slipping. He's 63 now, and I think it goes to about every 2 years. So, but I mean, it's just you week in and week out, everything's there. You never even think of, you know, it's obviously everything's going to be perfect. We know that in advance, and it always is. And I'm not saying this facetiously that this man is most unusual, but it's the brain, not the tissues. And as I say, any person that misses notes a great deal on a brass instrument must recognize what I told today, the difference between an instrument that comes from the factory that's based on, like the piano or the violin or any of the other instruments, on the instrument providing pitch vibration and acoustical amplification, resonance. The brass instrument and the human voice, these are unique. The two factors of motor force and pitch vibration must come from the player according to the acoustical laws of the instrument, and the piece of brass which has no brains should amplify. And it will do that if you send the right note. If you send the wrong note, it won't.